mash the go live button. But see, I don't understand the difference
Baby,
between what?
there was an earthquake.
What?
Yeah, we just had an earthquake.
Oh my god.
It's
How
okay.
bad
I
is
felt it
it?
before it happened.
Oh
I
my
kind of
god.
felt it before it happened, but
Mm.
it's okay. It's okay.
To check on mom?
Um, no, I'm checking on the live. Yeah, I don't see us on. Oh,
Yeah,
there,
but
there's.
it
Well,
missed the whole fucking intro. That's what pisses me
it's.
off.
Oh,
Oh my god, so fucking stupid. I'm so sick of this shit. Again, what's the difference between stop streaming and end broadcast? Like,
no.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. Does that mean that we're streaming like behind the scenes? Like no one could
No
see it?
idea.
I don't know.
No, it's live now, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I wanted everyone to hear the intro.
So replay it.
No.
Oh my
I'm
god.
mad now. I'm pissed now. Okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and play the intro and then maybe I'll cut all of this out. How about that?
Okay.
Give them an
Yeah.
exclusive, god damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? What up, what up? It's your girl, Miss DJ Hoodie, getting at you guys with another Why Run podcast live. On this episode, Rob and I compare cultural differences. Are we really that different? Plus, we continue our lesson on connecting with our higher selves. So stay tuned. The fuck is going on, everyone? Sup, baby? We got Just Rob on panel, on the pedestal of the Why
Boo
Run
that guy.
podcast. No,
Boo, 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 boo.
no, no.
What's up, babe?
Sup? What up?
So, are we doing this on here?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You know it. You know how I like it.
Well, I do know.
I like to get
Wait.
punked. I like to be told what to do. Oh.
Is that being punked?
Hmm.
I said, is that being punked?
No.
You like to be dominated? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
Damn, we keep having earthquakes.
we. Oh, not you again right now.
Yeah, there's been two more since the one that I felt.
Oh my god, baby.
Yeah.
I was gonna
The first
ask
one was
you
like a.
how your relative. How are your relatives with earthquakes?
I don't know. I don't think they've ever felt earthquakes.
Oh my god, I have yet to witness one or experience one awake.
Awake.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, you guys be safe out there in California.
Yeah, in the Barstow area, be safe, people. If it gets bigger, if it shakes harder over here, because the first one I felt like waves. It felt like I was on a wave. But the weird
Oh
thing
fuck
is,
that.
if you check my Twitter, I don't know if it was just a delay or I predicted it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because I put it on Twitter, and then a few seconds later that because I follow this account that tells you where the earthquakes were and how big they were,
Mhm.
but it seems like sometimes it predicts them. You know how they have the alerts and all that stuff now.
Mhm.
Sometimes it predicts them, and then other times it tells you like right away where they happen and stuff. And I felt it like a few seconds before that, maybe almost close to a minute. I was like, wait,
Oh.
am I feeling an earthquake or am I predicting it? Because it gets a little hard to tell the difference sometimes. But I
Mhm.
did, because I felt it a little bit, and then I was like, wait, am I feeling it or am I predicting it? And then I put it on Twitter because remember how you told me before, whenever I predict stuff, to just say it. Because then usually when I do predict stuff and I say and I don't say anything, and then when it happens, I'm like, oh, I felt that or I knew that, and people are like, yeah, 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 okay, like
Mm.
settle down, little crazy person.
Mm.
But at least this way it's out there. But
Oh my gosh,
yeah, I
be
don't
safe
know.
there, babe.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing I can do to be careful. If it starts shaking, I'll let you guys know, and I'll run out there naked because I'm not dressed. That's TMI for the show. That's TMI. But other than that, other than the little mishap at the beginning of the show, how are you, babe?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Tired, but good. I feel good. How about
yeah,
you,
you haven't been
sir?
sleeping much. You want the honest truth, or you want me to be what is it like? False. What is it called? What did I say? False positivity last time. I'm like everything is fine. Everything's good. Everything's fine. You want that or you want the truth?
How about both? I
Okay.
love to hear
So
both sides.
the truth is I'm stressed out. The I guess the so
Thanks to
I don't know. I
me.
don't know what to. No, it's not just you. It's not even you. It's just I want things to be better, work faster. But I'm stressed out. I got stressed out during the weekend because um a little bit before that I found out that we were gonna have family over. So that meant that I had to clean stuff that I haven't cleaned in a while. You know, see, this is a cultural thing, I think. For us Latinos, we usually clean where there's a saying, it's donde la suegra mira, which means only where your mother-in-law can see. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's usually how we clean the shit. Like we maintain the areas that people can see, but we don't really, well, at least us, we don't do like deep cleans every weekend, which I would love to, but my mom, she's not physically able to do that. So I don't know. Sometimes I fall off and I don't deep clean the entire house, but it does make me feel better when I do. So this weekend, because I just felt it was rushed. That's why I was stressed. Because I was like, oh, my
Mm.
family's coming on Monday. Who's coming? I didn't even know who was coming. I didn't know how many people were coming. And so I was like, fuck, okay. I started deep cleaning, and then so that was stressful. And then last night I received some messages that kind of stressed me out a little bit because
Do I
I
know
know I've
about these
mentioned this before.
messages?
Yes, babe, I told you this morning.
Okay, just making sure.
But I think I've said this before on the show that I don't like making plans. I don't like making like super far out plans, meaning I don't like to plan for like next month or the month after that. I like to know what the plans are so that I can plan my like I need to panic, I need to stress in my own controlled self. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if somebody tells me family's coming over, tell me with like at least a week. Don't tell me like a month before. because I don't want to stress for a whole fucking month. I just want to stress for a week and be like, all right, cool. Like, I got it out the way. Everything's fine. Same thing with this. Like, you and I have plans, and the thing that's kind of stressing me out is I don't know if I'm going the first or if I'm going the fifth. And it seems like it's not in my control. That's what's stressing me out.
Well,
So it's
baby,
like, okay.
don't give it all away.
What are they gonna do? Make my bus crash?
Oh, stop it.
No, but yeah, so the family coming over was a little stressful. Now, me not knowing my own plans. And it's not, that's why I said it has nothing to do with you and you stressing me out.
Well,
Like
I'm
I said,
part of
I just
it.
wanted, um, your stressing is stressing me. So stop stressing.
I'll stop if you stop.
Well, I can't stop if you don't stop.
Sure.
No.
We bounce off of each other, remember?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm already like, okay, so maybe all my other shit is making you stress. I don't know, I'm over it now. The family's here. I haven't gone out there to greet them yet, but they're here. They're safe. Everybody's chilling outside my window, so if you guys hear talking, that's what that is. Thank goodness it's not super hot today. It's kind of cool. So I can have my window closed and my fan's not here today. Boo, that guy. But, yeah, that's what's going on with me.
I'm sorry, babe. I don't mean to pull you down with me, and I unknowingly do the very thing that I hate that my mother does. Like yeah, just like that. Like she tells you not to worry, and then she just comes all out with everything that's worrying her. And
Hmm.
then it's like, okay, then it's just her dumping more issues that's bothering, you know.
Her concerns she shares with you, and then it's like, okay, well, now we're both stressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like, okay, like I'm really good at positive talk. I know I vaguely I vaguely show that on the Y run. But when I've had enough, I've had enough. And sometimes I sit in negativity too long. Not too much, but like too long. I know it's probably
Mhm.
backwards when I say that, but I stay in negativity too long because that is realistic for me at the moment, just depending on what it is. And I don't want to drag this out too long, like everything I'm
I don't
saying
mean to
right now.
interrupt, babe, but hold
Okay,
on, okay?
sure,
Okay.
sure, baby. Um, I don't want to drag this out too long because let me tell you guys something. And I said this before. I am the type of podcaster. I don't go back and listen to my episodes unless I really need to edit, right? Um, I sometimes, and probably most of you out there that dislike my topics, dislike how I talk about it, like how I talk about it. I know I do get loud and, whatever. Or sometimes people just plain don't like me, right? But uh, I don't want to bring you guys down, and that is why I think I do most of the time, and I can't hear myself. Like I can't just listen to the episodes that we've just done and I just do the episode and then I throw it out there. You know what I mean? Um, I'm not the type of podcaster that's obsessed with how she talks or how she sounds, or like sometimes I feel like okay, if I can't if I can't hear myself, like I can't stand to hear myself, what makes you think that other people are going to want to listen to you? You know what I mean? um and I always tell people, listen to the message, don't listen to how I sound, like listen to like actually what I'm saying. And I do understand that it's really hard to it's hard to say, knowing that like I'm just, yeah, like it's hard for me as well, to listen to the episode. I mean, just to like I guess to collect notes for the next episode, or like to continue on the conversation, or maybe to see if our children come through. But like,
Mm.
you meaning to tell me that you actually sit through my voice?
Yes.
I
Why is that a
That's
surprise?
weird. It is a surprise because it's like all of the things that I talk about on the cast, like it does bring stress. It brings stress to me. That's why I can't go back and listen to myself. So that's why it's like, okay, like I would recommend you not even playing it back.
Mm.
It's embarrassing for me at sometimes because it's like, I don't want to drag my husband down, because we're maintaining our households, and I don't need your spirit, your soul over here worrying about my mess.
But shouldn't it be our mess?
Mm, no, not yet anyway, because I guess okay, like I know this is gonna sound fucked up in the modern world, okay, but
Mm.
spiritually, I I think I need you where you're at right now, because I feel like it's almost the analogy I can give is like keep me in the hole and you stay at the top.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like no need for both of us to be down here fucked. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's like I'll be down here, trying to find the missing pieces in the mud, and
Mm.
like let me dig, like let me go through everything, let me try to find the pieces and put them together, and I'll throw them back up at you.
Okay.
Like that's how I feel. It's
But
like I don't need you here with me physically, like to go through everything, because I know you understand. I know you understand from where you're at, and you being there, it
mm.
it does take me away. It's almost like when we talk on the phone, like it's like I'm not here, like I'm actually there with you at your
Mm.
place, or we're at the mountain, or like we're just other places, and other places of peace and protection.
Yeah.
And I would rather have it be like that, and spend time there for a little bit, just for me to collect myself, and you know cuddle and snuggle with you, and then going back to the bullshit.
Mm.
So it's almost like how you have your battles, right? Like you go out
Yeah.
into the battlefield spiritually, I'm going out into the battlefield in the modern. So when we do come together, it is my peace that I'm,
Mm.
like the strengths I'm getting back. I
Yeah.
want you to understand, and I know I drag out things, but that's just the best way that I know how to do it. So and that's why I tell you it is gonna be fine. It is gonna
Yeah.
be fine because I trust me, I get down, but I don't stay down too long.
Yeah.
My attitude and my spirit has always been like that. Yeah, like I cry and I struggle and like I'm just I lose my shit, but I literally don't stay there that long. That's why I
Yeah.
tell you not to worry.
Yeah. No. I don't know. I'm kind of the same way. Like I said, I have to stress and panic, and then I'll be over it. I know that things are gonna be fine. Like
Yeah, but when I
if you were to
ask
ask me,
you, do you believe me? And you were like, and then you were gonna lie to me and tell, well, not lie to me, but you were gonna put it nicely. And then I said, just tell me the truth. And you were just like, no. You're like, no, 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 I don't. And to me, that was okay because I understand. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at you. Like, oh my god, like
yeah,
you for real? Like, you don't believe me? You don't believe that I'm that strong? Like, what the fuck you think I? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do
yeah,
that to you. Like, it's just like, okay, like I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you it's gonna be okay.
yeah. I don't know. If you were to ask me where I am right now, I'm already in New Mexico. I already know how that's gonna go, which is
Isn't
another
it
stress for
nice?
me.
Oh
kind
no.
of,
Oh my
kind of.
god. Oh my god.
I
Okay,
forget to tell you my
so
dream. I forget to tell you my dream, but yeah, it's for later.
oh my
But
god.
no, it works
Okay,
out.
so now
But
you're
again, I
you,
have the stress.
okay, so okay, you know what? I'm used to it. I'm not even gonna get mad because we're gonna be traveling with my family, and you already know how I feel about everything. And it's
Hmm.
always chaos during,
Yeah,
like, and this isn't really a family vacation, so to speak, but we all kind of we know how we each others are, but
yeah.
it's always been like this, like way before you even came into our lives. Like, yeah, it's so you're already seeing everything how we sorry
Yeah,
baby in advance.
yeah. No, it's a lot of, like I said, it's the same thing with me. It's a lot of controlled chaos. You have to, you have to go through all the, like, everything's gonna be fine, so you're not too worried, but at the same time, you still feel it. So you have to allow yourself to feel it, and that's just what I'm doing. Um, it's all good.
Yeah.
It all works out. Everything's fine. I like that meme.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire around me, but it's all fine. It's fine.
You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna post that picture on the screen, and I was gonna cut it in half, and I was gonna put the one where he says everything's fine. I was gonna put that one as me, and then I was gonna put the other one where you're just sitting there not saying anything
Yeah.
because you're not very vocal until, I don't want to say like until it's too late, but like when you feel like you can't hold it in anymore. You
Yeah.
literally are just the dog sitting there, like not saying anything, like you realize and you see what's going on, but you're not gonna
Yeah.
say anything. And for me it's like I'm very vocal, so yeah, I was gonna put the one where he's like everything's fine. Like that's me. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It'll be fun.
yes, it will be, and we're gonna have a nice time.
Yeah. Yes.
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 Can we get into something really quick? And this is the shit that's gonna piss me off.
Yeah. Just do it.
And Yes, yes. Let's get it all out. Let's get it all out. So, I already went
Uh-oh.
on a fucking rampage last night on art struggles on the twits. If you guys want to check it out, go to x.com/. AudreyalKoinva and check out the one that says, "Don't pretend to know something when you don't." Check it out. It's gonna be uh, pushed out on YouTube and Spotify in a couple days. But if you guys want to check it out now, go there because I went in on these motherfuckers for 40 minutes. And here in the
Man.
beginning of the spaces, I was like, I'm going to try to make this quick. I was a whole ass lie. But anyway, so I wanted to avoid saying this, okay? But, you know, Rob and I, we got this vehicle in the beginning of this year, January.
Mm.
And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of it, but let's just say that I seen on TV, you're watching a free movie that comes with ads, right? There's a fucking advertisement. And I don't pay attention to advertisements. You know what I'm saying? I mute the motherfucker and I'm just like, okay, whatever. But this time, I didn't mute the fucking ad. But this fucking ad said, "Oh, you can have this 2025 BMW vehicle and you will pay $450 a month." That pissed me the fuck off because this vehicle that I have certainly is not a 2025, not even a 2024 or 2023, okay? So on and so forth. But how is it that I am paying 400, let me tell you, it's over $450 a month. And I'm not even going to get into all the things that I'm not happy with that car. But I could have
Mm-mm.
had a
Let me stop you right
2025
there.
BMW vehicle. I'm just saying, and it's not even about the year. It's not about that it's a BMW. Well, maybe it is a little bit, but because I want a Cadillac, okay? But I'm just saying that with all the things that I'm not happy with this car, I could be paying this much or this minimum, right? On something that's a lot more, better, maybe a little up to date. I mean, you guys get what I'm saying. But
That's a scam.
okay, perhaps because I'm pretty sure that rich people and people with good ass fucking credit, their bank accounts looking right, and they go back into their history of, oh, these motherfuckers pay their shit on time. Oh yeah, well, you could pay 200 a month on a BMW. Yeah, that's not me. If I were to get a BMW for real, I'd probably be paying like $800 a month. And they know that I can't afford it, but they'll throw it at me and like, oh yeah, we'll collect the money and we can repo it later. But
Mm.
that just that commercial itself, it fucking triggered the fuck out of me. And I was like, you mean to tell me? I went on one of those rants, like I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm sitting there like just ripping into my hot wings, and then I have like bones sticking out of my fucking cheeks. Like, are you fucking serious? I was mid chewing, stopped me
Mm.
dead in my tracks, and I was just like, this is some bullshit. So I feel like the motherfucker, I forgot his name, at the dealership, yeah, like they're good at talking. But yeah, so that's that.
No,
That's and
the BMW is a scam. Don't fall for it.
how so? Tell the people.
Well, like you said, they said you might qualify to get it at that price, but to get it
Oh yeah,
for
you
that
gotta read the
payment.
fine print that even when you pause a
Yeah,
motherfucker, and if you were to walk up to your big screen, you still couldn't see the bitch.
yeah, exactly.
And then if you go to their website and try to claim it, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, like that was April's
Let's
commercial."
run your let's run your credit.
Oh hell no.
Like,
Like
oh
all of that
yeah,
shit is
sorry.
fucking. Let me tell you guys something. One time I was trying to shop for insurance, and you know how they have that zebra, whatever the fuck, where you
Mm,
put in your information, and then it supposedly gives you like 500,000 fucking insurances to check out.
yeah.
Man, they all have your information, and once I fucking did that shit, I had Progressive, fucking Liberty, fucking Safeway, fucking, like, I had all these fucking insurances blowing up my fucking phone. Don't put your information in an app or website one time, because they're just like, oh, you could just do it once and oh, there it is. And it's like, they're not fucking lying. Like, they sold your information went out everywhere. And you're just like, fuck, I
Mm.
just need one insurance within this bracket. But these motherfuckers, no. And here's another commercial that I left out just for Babe. Again, I'm chewing my chicken wings, and there's those political commercials, right, that come on, and they're just bashing each other. Like, oh, vote for Trump or vote for Harris or, whatever.
Yeah.
And, they're just really trying to make each other sound really bad. And these commercials have, it says no big huge mention on like what they should be debating about or whatever. They're going into like their personal
Mhm.
lives and these political commercials. And what fucking blows me is that they do all this shit talking, right? They do all this shit talking, and at the very end of the fucking ad, they say, this is what this bitch is doing, so we're not responsible for this commercial.
Mm.
Like it's not their fault that they made the commercial. Like, oh, the content, like it's not our fault that the contents in this video, like it's not our fault. Like we're not responsible for this commercial.
Yeah.
But it's like somebody like somebody orchestrated this. They've dictated this. And
Yeah.
it's just it blows my fucking mind, because they're just like, oh yeah, like this bitch is this and that motherfucker's that and blah blah blah, but oh, we're not responsible for the contents of this commercial. And it's like, you put it together. Like, okay, if you
Yeah.
want to blame AI, somebody typed it into the generator. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, wow. And see, this is the thing. Like, this is why I think nobody should vote, is because I don't understand why these candidates, or all these people sitting in a fucking leather chair that's butt baby soft, and why can't we just all, like, why can't they work together? Like why does it have to be this, all this separation? And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. It has to do with race. That's a separation. Um, it has to do with poor people, people that have money, rich people. Like, these separations are intentional, and it's keeping people apart. But it's like, okay, you guys want to talk about, this and that, isn't safe, or it is, like, it's just like you guys are attempting to say that you guys all believe in the same thing, but you guys are going back and forth as if one is being more petty than the other, when
It's a
both you
soap opera.
motherfuckers are being petty. What's that?
I said it's all a soap opera. They know that drama sells, so it's like a fucking reality show now. What the hell was hitting my wall?
What's wrong?
Somebody's hitting my wall. It's all falling apart.
But no, that's just my take on these commercials. I'm really not trying to get into like the political stuff, unless Rob wants to break it down into nuts and bolts for us, because I don't understand the political stuff. I just see what the fuck, I'm just reacting to a fucking advertisement. Like, wow. Like, you how you gonna say all that, and then you're gonna like take it back as if you didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, and
Mm,
and that's everybody's fucking attitude. That's how people operate.
no, no, I don't want to get into the whole political thing today. I'll save it for another day.
Well, that was just my take on commercials. So
Mm.
yeah, drop it in the comments. Do you have a favorite commercial where you're just like calling out its bullshit?
Yeah.
We love to hear it. So, you want to kick this one off, baby?
What was it about? Cultural differences or
Well, you kind
cultural,
of got into
yeah,
it a
cultural.
little bit. You're talking about your family.
Yeah. Um, yeah, one of the first things that we were taught as children is in my culture, when somebody comes to visit, you greet them. You greet every. So, for example, if you greet everybody. That's what we were taught. No matter who they are, no matter if you like them or not, or you know them or not, you say hi to everybody. So, and it's not just like walk in the door and wave and be like hi. You gotta shake their hands or give them a hug. So that was the first thing that we and that we were taught. And I remember the first time I met my grandfather, he got mad because I didn't greet him the right way, apparently. But I didn't know. I wasn't told specifically this is how you greet him. So I just went up to him and I shook his hand. But apparently I was supposed to kiss his hand, like, kiss the pinky ring. So I was like, what? Okay. So I did it, but he was offended. And ever since then, it seemed like he kind of had a thing. Like, I don't know, it was just like he felt disrespected. So I was like, that's you guys' fault, my parents, because nobody told me this is how you greet your grandfather and this is how you greet your uncles or aunts or whatever, right? I didn't know that there was a difference. But um, there's that. And then, I don't know, like just cultural things that we were told were the norm that now we're being told you should have autonomy over yourself. If you don't want to say hi to someone, you don't have to. Like that's what kids are being taught now. To you don't have to greet that uncle that kind of creeps you out, even if he hasn't done anything to you. Does that make sense? Have you heard of that?
Yes.
So those are some of the ones that I remember. I don't know if it's an earthquake or if I'm just reading it, but whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Is there some like the early on ones that you remember? Because you and I, we were talking about some of our cultural things, right? And we realized that you and I are not that different when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to our culture. But I know that there's like an unsaid rule in my culture that, for example, your your dad's brothers should take over if something was to happen to him. But in your culture, from what I understand, is they are your dads, right?
Yeah.
Your father's brothers are your father, not your uncles,
Yes. And
right? Like,
my dad's sisters, they're still my aunts, not my mother's. But
hmm
if they have a son, they are my father's too.
mm,
But go ahead, baby.
yeah, like that's different when it comes to us. Like I said, if something was to happen, like my dad, he doesn't have any brothers, so there's that little wrench right there. I don't know
Mm.
in how that would work, and I don't know if it's like then my mom's brothers would take over and step up, because I think that that's kind of what they did anyway. When my dad left, um, one of my uncles kind of took that father figure role in our life, but it wasn't said. Like it's not told to us. Like treat your uncles as your fathers, or treat your aunts as your moms from your mom's side. But that's basically what we do anyways. We treat everybody with respect, whether they earn it or not, whether they deserve it or not. So that's something different than what we're hearing now. Like now I'm hearing people say like, oh, if that person gives you bad vibes or whatever, you don't have to say hi to them even if they're your uncle or your aunt. And I'm like, I don't know if that's right or wrong. Because I do understand, like we come from an a generation and an era of people that were hurt. I don't want to say how because it could happen in many different ways, but that was hurt by like a family member. So I do understand that part. But even if it's just like they just give you that energy or they give you that vibe that they're not pure with their intentions, like you're already gonna cast them out. I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's right.
that okay, so I guess what I would take it as is if my child didn't like a member of my family, first of all, I would think like, okay, like which relative is it? And do I know the dirt or the shit that they have been doing, or how, you know what I'm saying? Cuz
Yeah,
you're the one that knows your family more than your children, because
yeah.
it's almost like, you grew up with them or whatever. And if my child said like, oh, okay, I don't want to be around, like your cousin, right? Like my cousin, but they're
hmm
saying like, I don't want to be around, then I would be like, okay, yeah, you don't have to, because of the things that I knew that my cousin has done, right?
Right.
um I know some people may be like, okay, so why are you listening to a child? And it's like, well, first of all, my child, well, okay, children, I shouldn't say my child, but I should say all children are very pure. All children, their universes, in their gut feelings, they're open completely.
hmm
That's why children, their imaginations are very, very strong. Like they're open to everything. So you don't think that a child wouldn't be able to feel the danger, or feel the disgusting parts of a person? It's almost like children are like animals, because animals
hmm
are pure. Animals, they don't do bad or wrongful things. If they fight back, it's to defend themselves. If they killed something, it's for survival. So like an animal, like they sense evil, right? And it's the same thing with
Mhm.
children. So if a child, I'm not going to say my child, but if a child says like, I don't know about this man, or like, like I'm scared, you know you got to pay attention to what your child is saying, because if you and the person that your child is afraid of are about the same age, and you know the dirt that they've been doing as you grew up with them, or you grew up knowing them or knowing of them,
Mhm.
that they're not right. But if you know already that they weren't right from the very fucking beginning, why would you want your child to meet them anyway? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what I
saying?
was gonna
Like,
say.
okay, I'll let you
Touch
just,
on that though.
you know, like, because you got to protect your child. But and I get the other side too, where because there are like uncles in my life that I am just scared of. Okay, like I'm scared of them, and it's not my spiritual senses picking up what they've done or like how they are. But if you got to understand what or why you're feeling this. If you can't explain it, their aura deserves or demands respect, and that doesn't come from a place of like, oh, I'm the man, you gotta respect me. Like, it's not that. Like, what I feel is the discipline, that like they are all
Mhm.
about discipline. As soon as they walk into the room, I don't have to know them. I don't have to. All I have to know is that, oh, they're my relative. Yeah, he looks intimidating, and that's the fear right there, is that he's intimidating, talks very strongly. He doesn't. You listen and you watch how he interacts with all your other cousins, how he acts with all his brothers and sisters, and it's like, okay, this guy is not to be fucked with. So when like there's a man, he's my insurance guy, he lives a mile away from my house, and he gives me that energy. I don't know what it is, like, when I listen to him talk on the phone to his clients, and I don't like going there just to drop him a check. Like, I just want to throw my check on the desk and walk out. Like, that is how much he intimidates me. And it's so funny because, and I told Rob the other day, like, oh yeah, Lauren Hill, don't let, what was the lyric? Fear
Uh,
no human being. And I
mhm.
fear this man. And this guy, he's really tall, he's bald, but he has a very kind voice, but he does have a mean face. He does wear leather, like he rides a motorcycle, and it's not how he looks, it's fine.
Mhm.
Like, and I told him one time, I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, you scare me. And he's like, what? Why? And I said, I don't know. I said, you give me uncle vibes. And then I explained to him, I said, in my culture, we respect our uncles, because uncles represent discipline. When your uncle comes
Mhm.
around, you behave yourself. That goes for boys and girls. You're just supposed to respect your uncles. And I said, that's the vibe that you're giving me. And he's like, on, and he came to give me a hug, and I was like, dodging him, like, you see, like, that's where I feel like, if a child is like, oh, I'm scared of him, you have to also take into consideration that okay, maybe he's just intimidating.
Yeah.
Like oh, maybe it's just the discipline. Like again, if you know that person, and if you know him to be like child, and be like, oh, she or he, my child does not know this man, but my child senses the discipline and the intimidation. And then you have to tell your child like, hey, like, he's okay, he's a good guy, just say hello to him, don't be scared of him, he'll protect you, like kind of like that, like, because sometimes kids, they don't want to be mixed in with adults, like they're just like, oh, like, an adult party, this is gonna be boring, and then they start to limp around like, "Pff, I don't want to be here," and then they sit on the couch, and instead of sitting up straight and respecting the place and respecting the people, they slouch down or they lean to the side, and that's also disrespect. Like, you don't do that at somebody's house. Like, you sit up straight, show respect. Because if you lean to the side, and then your parent grabs you and takes you outside to straighten you up, like, hey, you don't act like that. But see, now people will say like, oh, that's abuse, that's child abuse, and it's like, no, it's discipline. They gotta learn respect.
Is that something that in your culture was taught, that to be around the adults?
Yes and no. It's almost like, um okay, like if you're the only child, or there's a couple children there, the adults would be like, oh, you guys want something to eat, because that's another thing. House is to take care of the people in her house, offer
Mm,
them something, and entertain. So if children are there, the wife of the house, or the woman of the house would be like, oh, hey, are you kids hungry? Like, oh, you guys want to watch TV? So she'll set up a little table, and get them something to eat and drink, and make sure that they're good. That way the adults could have their adult conversations.
yeah.
And then of course it's the woman of the house that makes sure that everybody's good. Like, oh, everybody have their coffee, sugar, cream.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, there's donuts here, because that's another thing. Our big thing is like pastries and baked goods.
Mhm.
So she, like, all of those things you gotta have on hand. That's why at my house, nobody comes to visit me. Like, I'm gonna be straight up, like, nobody visits me. But when I go to town, I make sure that I have, donuts or like cinnamon rolls, like, just in case somebody comes over. That way, because it's my duty to offer something. Like, that's why the young girls, they have to know how to make coffee, because that's a thing that you offer a man when a man comes to visit. Whether it's your fathers or it's your cousins, or like a medicine man, or a chief. Like, you gotta offer them something. You gotta offer them coffee, or you want tea, or oh, would you like a beverage, or like, oh, sit down, have a piece of cake. Like you have to offer, because if you don't offer them something, then it does bring tension, and
Yeah.
it does bring negative attention to your home. Because if they go out back to their house, oh, like, where did you go? Oh, I went to visit Adi, but yeah, she didn't offer me anything. And they would be like, uti.
Yeah.
And uti means like, well, goddamn, what did you do, or what did we do? See, like, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's kind of like a handshake.
Mhm.
What?
Now, hold on before you go, before you move on to other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, back
Oh, I
to,
just seen your message. Do you still need to go?
it was cutting off a lot for me, but it seems to be better now. I hope
Oh,
it's not
okay.
cutting off on the show, because it was pretty bad for me, but it sounded. good on the show. I don't know, but I kind of want to go back to what you said about kids feel people's energies and people's intentions, and sometimes it is intimidation, and that's what kind of pulls them away from the person. So, um, also you said like I think if it's known in the family that that person's not good or that that person is a pervert or whatever, right? If they already know, people in the family know. I think instead of forcing your children to be nice to this person and like greet them and do the whole ritual thing, it should be the other way around. It should be take that person out of the family. Why would you invite them to gatherings? Why would you include them in everything? Because I think that that's kind of what keeps the whole abusive or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be physical abuse. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be if you know that they've done something and your child doesn't want to be around them, why would you bring them around your child? Why would you bring them to your house? Why would you include them in the family dynamic? Why not why not exclude them? Why not um there's a word for it and I can't think of it right now. What is it called? What is it called when you sheet sheet sheets of paper? Uh, not vanish someone from the family. What is it called when you just
Shun.
completely cut
Shun.
shun the family members? Yes, exactly. Why don't you just remove them and that way it cuts the whole possibility of more abuse, whichever kind it is. Like for instance, I have a family member that everybody kind of suspects. Everybody, I don't know if people know or if people just suspect, but there's this like cloud of there's some perversion there. Okay, if people fucking know that, why the hell bring them around their children? Why bring them around other people's children in the family? Why not be like, okay, we're gonna take this family member out until they either confess what they've done, somebody comes forward and proves that they did it or that they didn't do it. Like instead of all these secrets, let's bring it all into the fucking light because I think that that's something that happened in our generation that I think people our age and younger are trying to cut the possibility of that being a thing where I don't I'm gonna try not to say the word, but if somebody's being abusive, like let's say an adult figure is being abusive to a child, um, and then you don't want your child to be around that person because you know what they did to you, then instead of keeping it a secret, why not just call it out? Why not? I think that's a major thing that we need to change that didn't happen for us is believe your children. I do know that there's some kids that exaggerate. I do know that there's kids that lie. But if you know your child and you know that your child's not lying to you, you have to believe them. Because when you don't believe them, when you're like, oh no, but that's your aunt or that's your uncle or that's like the family friend, they would never do that. What you're telling your child is that they can't count on you, that they're not protected by you, that you won't go to war for them. So then they start questioning themselves. And if that person continues coming around, that's a violation to their own mind. Like you're telling somebody not to believe themselves. Like, oh, that didn't happen, or that's kind of what you're telling them. Like, whatever you're feeling didn't really happen, so you shouldn't be feeling that. And then they grow up with that whole fucking trauma of like, did it happen? Did it not happen? Am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Why am I the black sheep of the family, and why is this person welcomed into the family?
Yeah, and
So
then they
if you
start
really
getting
want to,
depressed and starting to harm themselves.
yeah, then they do become the black sheep of the family. When all of this can be prevented by just shunning that family member that people already suspect or people already know. I don't know, like that's part of my culture that I don't like, where if people already know about a certain person, they continue to bring him around the family because oh, that's an uncle or that's a family member, and you have to respect him. Fuck that. No, just throw that person in a hole until they repent for what they've done, and they stop harming other people. Secrets in families kill families. It cuts the whole tie to the family. There should never be any secrets at all, even if it's a small one. Even if it's just like a suspicion that you have of someone, you have to confront them. If I heard a rumor of a cousin or a uncle or whatever the person is, I would be like, why are people saying this about you? What did you do? Convince me that you're innocent, because it does matter. Because I'm not gonna have you around my kids. I don't want you around the other kids in the family. I don't want you around any kids if those accusations are true. So I do agree with some cultural change. It shouldn't just be like, oh, well, that's what we do. We bring our uncles into the house, and who cares what kind of person they are. No, that's not. It shouldn't be that way. But damn it, I
Well,
kind of went a
Sean,
little too deep. No, like I
no.
was just gonna touch on that part about like the cultural belief and ritual part of it. I think, like you said, believe that the child is picking up on the. I guess try to figure out which one it is that they're feeling. Are they feeling unsafe around this person because they're intimidated, or are they feeling unsafe around this person because that person has done something to them? So that's why it kind of goes back to believing your child, and whatever they tell you, you have to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah,
my
the
kid came to,
whole. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if my kid came to me and said, "Yeah, that cousin, like I don't feel safe around them, or I don't feel comfortable around them," I would be like, "Okay, did they do something to you, or is it just a feeling that you get?" But either way, I wouldn't force them to like be around that person. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, but that's your cousin. You have to respect them. They're older than you, or whatever it is." I would still respect my child and believe them. And then, like I said, if they say, "Oh no, it's just a feeling that I get," then I would believe that too. Like I would just be like, okay, they must know something about this person. There has to be some reason why they're feeling this way. And I don't think I can legally say this on live, but if they were to tell me that they did something to them, then there would be a body and I would be in jail. So,
Just letting you know that the awning guy is here. So, if I get
yeah,
quiet all of a sudden, just know that. But I don't have to leave that long. He just rolled up right now, so we'll see if he just
uh,
gets to it or whatever without interrupting.
yeah,
But I wanted to say something about that. Quite recently, and I want to say like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, or maybe, yeah, whatever. Yeah, my one of my dad's brothers came to my house drunk, and again, um, oh my God, they're walking up to my door. Oof. Hold on, let's see what's going on. Hey. I'm Bobby. Yeah. Hi. So you're gonna post it a check for August? Yeah. Is it done? It will be. I just okay. Want to make sure you give him the check when it's done. Oh yeah, she told me about it. When in August? Huh? When in August? I'm not sure. I didn't look at the check. Oh, okay. She did. Okay. He's gonna stay and finish it and get everything in, and then it should be good. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Motherfucker wanted the check without it being done.
hmm.
Yeah, he looks creepy. He looks like one of those guys that, well, the guy has on like really, really thick black rimmed
Hmm.
nerdy glasses. And let me tell you, this guy does not, yeah, fit Those are someone else's glasses, is what I'm trying to say. Uh, he looks
It's a
creepy.
disguise.
Oh my
It's a
god.
serial killer dressed as a nerd.
Get the fuck off my porch. Uh, but no, very quickly. So yeah, like my dad's brother, which he's also supposed to be my father, he came over drunk and he ended up hitting on me.
Mm,
Like he was like starting to touch me, trying to touch my breast and like try to like kiss my cheek, and then that's when I pushed him. Like I fucking shoved him like, what the fuck are you doing?
mm,
And he was just like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I'm just like really down or whatever. And I was like, you're fucking pissed drunk, and like, what the fuck? And I was so hurt, like I didn't even know what to do, like, because when it's someone else that is, like not your family, like you tell them to get the fuck out, like you push and you shove, you fight, but this was supposed to be my dad.
mm,
And I got so choked up, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should have kicked him out or like beat the fuck out of him, you know what I mean? Like I just, yeah, I froze. And it's no secret, but I've been SA'd before,
mm,
by family. And I just couldn't believe that it was happening again to me as a full grown adult.
yeah,
And it was just like I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like tongue tied. Like I was so angry, but like it was like my arms just locked,
yeah,
and I couldn't hit him anymore. Like I shoved him and I pushed him, like, but it was almost like something just was like I just locked up. I'm not gonna say something stopped me from doing it. I don't
mm,
believe that. I believe that the spiritual side would have allowed me to get some licks in. You know what I'm saying? Like, bop bop.
yeah,
But I just, yeah, it hurt. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I got so choked up, and I let his ass out. And the thing that pissed me off, like, because I remember telling my dad, and I was crying, I was bawling, and my dad was pissed, but my dad was hurt too. And like, and if my dad was like, "Oh, I'm gonna find his ass and kick his ass," like I would have been like, "No, don't do that," because uh, my uncle, I know him, or we all know him, to be in and out of jail for acts that we may not know all of the acts, but as far as I know, yeah, it's being drunk in public and probably fighting, but we don't know how severe he fights. You know what I'm saying? And
mm,
fighting a man that's fully intoxicated, I'm not gonna allow my dad to get hurt over someone that we don't know how violent he can be, but we know him to be violent. You know what I'm saying? So um but the thing that pissed me off was my parents went to his sister's house to have dinner, and guess who was there?
mm,
And he was, like, just as if he didn't do anything, as if, like, oh, I know she didn't tell on me, or because it was almost like he was seeing how my dad was gonna talk to him. That way he
mm,
could be like, oh, well, Anderson's not that mad. So, oh, I guess everything's all good as long as I keep in their good graces. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
the thing that pissed me off was that my dad previously told, before they went to dinner, my dad told that very sister the one that invited all of them to dinner, um, he told her what he did to me. And her stupid ass still invited him to the house. And let me tell you, my cousins are having their own children. You got 10-year-olds, teenagers running around. And let me tell you, my dad's sister's husband, I think he's a pedophile. Oh, I'm sorry, pedo or whatever the fuck you want to call it on here. But uh and she just refuses to believe it. And it's like, why you allow children around this man? And this guy is walking around in his boxers with no shirt on around these little girls are running in and out of the house. Well, bitch, you're at work. So I do agree with what you're saying. Like, why the fuck would you allow your children? Because this man, my aunt's husband, nobody feels nobody feels safe around this guy. They don't.
Yeah.
He just has that aura that makes you uncomfortable immediately. As soon as you walk through the door, oh shit, he's sitting right there. Sitting on the fucking computer like a fucking pervert. And at that time, I can admit I didn't like kids. I wanted kids to keep the fuck away from me. But the moment
Well, babe, you cut off to me. I don't know if you're cut off to the show. Damn it. Well, I think we lost Audie. So, I'm just gonna start talking, I guess, until she comes back. Because I can't hear her. And it sounds like the show can't hear her either. So, baby, if you can hear me, we can't hear you on the show. And I can't hear you either. So, I don't know what happened. But I think that's part of the reason, or that's a cultural thing that I think we should change. We should um make it clear to everyone that we're not gonna keep secrets. We're not gonna keep anybody's secrets. If people know that you're a pedophile or whatever, I don't know what we can get away with saying on here or not. But if you're a known person that hurts people, you're not gonna be welcomed into the family, regardless of your title. Who cares who you are or what you're supposed to be in this family? If you violate the the principles of the family, the way that we carry ourselves, like our name, then you will be excluded from it. You're not welcomed here. So all of these, like, instead of talking about it and instead of not wanting to be around that person and not telling people why and all that stuff, instead of keeping those secrets or instead of keeping your feelings to yourself, if we vocalize this, and I don't think these people would feel comfortable being like, they wouldn't feel like I'm gonna get away with it, because if he did it to a grown ass woman, right? He did it to Audie. You don't think that he's thinking, oh, I got away with that one. I could do it to someone else. I could do it to a younger one. So I hear you back, babe. Babe? Okay, maybe
you
not.
hear me?
But
You hear me,
I think
baby?
that is something that we should all
I don't think
try
you
and
can hear
change,
me.
instead of what I hear other people saying is without the evidence, without, like, they want to protect their children, but they don't care about what happens to the other kids in the family or what happens to kids in the community and stuff. I feel like we should start penalizing or at least holding. I hear you now. Yeah. Yes. I guess you can't hear me. I can hear you. You can't hear me. But yeah, we're having technical difficulties as always. Yeah. Okay. 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 Well, if they can't hear me, or they can hear
No,
me, but they
no,
can't hear
they,
you.
yeah, they could hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
Well, I
baby.
kind of lost my train of thought. I don't
Oh,
know where
sorry.
I left off. No, no, no. It's not you. It's just everything that's going around. I could hear people outside my window.
Yeah, my mic
But
died. That's why. Sorry.
oh, okay.
But
Um,
go ahead, baby.
I think what I was saying was if we're gonna change anything, trying to change any of the culture, I I can hear you on the show now, babe. By the way, so I don't know if there was anything that you wanted to say before I continue.
Um, no, just that. Like I wanted to tell my cousins, like, you know what, if you guys need a babysitter, like, just bring them over, you know. And this was during a time that I didn't like children. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I just didn't trust him. I didn't trust my father, my uncle. um he's actually the one that helped my parents with the snake.
Mhm.
So that's him. He used to be my favorite uncle, but yeah, after he did that shit, I was like, keep the fuck away from me. But how do I feel about my parents still talking with him and calling on him for his help? For me, like, I've let it go. I'm happy that I didn't allow it to completely traumatize me. Other than it warning me, I'm glad and very thankful that he didn't get physical with me. Like, I'm glad that he didn't try, you know what I'm saying, like force
Yeah.
himself on me. But for me, it's like, okay, he pretty much signed his life away the moment he did it, because I am a spiritual being. I don't know if he knows who or what I am, but I know my aunt does. She knows.
Mhm.
So I don't know if the family talked about me, letting each other know, like, oh, uh, Anderson's mana is this. But
Yeah.
whether he knows it or not, that's what he's done. He's done it to himself. So I'm not gonna get angry or punish my parents for still continuing to talk to him and call on him when they need help. Because them calling on him to take and handle the snake, that's his purpose. So I'm just allowing him, to do his purpose. That's what he's supposed to do. Eliminate the drinking, eliminate all that other bullshit. But for me, he's going to have to answer to creator as to why he did it. So that's not my place. But another thing too is my brother is still conversing with someone that essayed me as a child. The thing that makes me angry towards my brother is that a brother is supposed to protect you. And, I felt like my brother wasn't there for me because even when my parents and I told my brother what happened, my brother was just like, oh dang. Like my brother had no reaction. He wasn't mad for me. He wasn't sad for me. He didn't reach out to me to hug me and hold me and tell me everything's okay. That's what pissed me off. Because what my uncle did to me, my dad was angry, my dad was emotional, and my dad held me in his arms. He said that he was sorry he wasn't there to protect me. My brother did not do that. That's where I will hold that over my brother until one of these days when we really get into it. I'm going to tell him, how come you didn't react? Because for me, there's always a reason behind someone doing something or not doing something. And most of the time, it's because it's something about you that they can't stand. So, and I will hold that until he tells me. But as of right now, I don't know. It's not time yet. So I'm just leaving that where it's at. But for everybody that has acted doing these bad things, they all signed their lives away and they all have to answer, including my brother. But go ahead, baby.
I'm trying to. The only thing that I can think of that would fix this cultural ritual of they're older than you, they hold a title in this family, and you have to respect them. It's like I said, removing that person from the family because it tells everybody else, like, in this family, we respect each other and we respect people. If you do something wrong to hurt one of us, you're out. You're not a part of this family anymore. What we've done as a culture, and it sounds like it's the same for you, is, oh, but that's your uncle. You're supposed to respect them. And doesn't matter what they do, they have a higher, um, what is it called? Higher standing in the family. So it continues that whole secrecy and having respect or having to respect and deal with someone that doesn't deserve it. So if people in the family had, like, for instance, if you could lose your title because you do something wrong in the family, then it would probably keep you from doing something stupid in the family, right? Which would also kind of keep you from doing something stupid outside of the family. Does that make sense? Like, I think it all starts in within the family. All these SA incidents, I think they start in-house before it becomes a outside thing. I think that's another thing that should be a cultural thing that we have to respect our last name. Our last name is it comes before our own um wishes, I guess. Like you're not gonna act a fool out in the streets because you're representing our name, the family name. And if you disrespect the family name, then you're out. That should be that should be in everybody's culture and everybody's um generation and everybody's beliefs is you're representing something. You're representing the name, and if you mess up, meaning you hurt not just our family, but you hurt other people's family, then you're out. It shouldn't be like, oh, we're gonna keep your secret. Don't worry, we're gonna keep it all a secret within the family. And then, oh, our family is gonna use their power and their money to keep that person a secret from other people, from what they've done to other people, and it just becomes a whole shit show. And that's where we are now. It's a fucking shit show. If we still punished people the way that they used to punish people back then this wouldn't be happening. It would prevent a lot of stuff that's happening now, and that's happened. If even just the fear of I'm gonna be shunned from the family and I'm gonna be labeled that, because imagine you couldn't go to another village without people knowing what you did. You're not gonna go and then marry another family and then do that to them. Everybody knows. Every
See,
like
that's
there
the
is a
thing that
system.
pisses me off too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
My
no,
gosh.
go ahead, go ahead.
What you said was completely right, because that's exactly what happens here, because I come from a place where we still have villages, and
Mm-hmm.
people talk, like word would still get around out there on the reservation without Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, we don't need Facebook on the reservation, to be honest, because everybody
Yeah.
talks. And people know your business. People know what happened. They know who it happened to and where it happened, and what day, and all of those things. And these people that do these acts, that committed crimes,
Mm-hmm.
they're still able to walk into other villages and nobody says anything. Like people don't confront them. Nobody says like, "Hey, like you're not welcome here. We know what you did and we don't approve." You know, nothing. And I do believe that that should be done. As far as like shunning people, I do think so,
There's
because
I don't. Sorry.
no, 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 go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't. I need to stop saying I was gonna say it because then I say it, so it's not like I was going to say it. I'm gonna say it. But I don't know which culture it comes from. I don't know which background it is from. But there's a culture that if you essay someone, if you violate someone, you get they cut your face. They scar you. There's a scar that runs on your cheek, and if it runs,
Oh,
straight, that's how they mark you. So everywhere you go, you can't go any to another village and pretend like you're this good person. That that's your punishment, having that
I
scar on your
kind
face.
of like that.
And everybody knows what you've done, so they know to be aware of you. So they're not gonna welcome
Right.
you into their village knowing that you have that scar. And this is something that I don't know if everybody knows. In the jail system, they still do that. I wish I knew which culture it was so I could give them credit because I think that that's what we should all do. Imagine if somebody was convicted of being a pedo, right? And they got castrated. They wouldn't, first of all, they wouldn't be able to hurt anyone else, and second, everybody would know. If that was like the universal punishment for that crime, it would prevent crime because nobody wants to get their junk cut off, right? Nobody wants to be labeled that. Nobody wants to walk around with that scar. Okay, cool. Then you're not gonna do it. So in jail, they still do that. They still cut those. I think they call them chomo, chomos, chom. Yeah, that.
Mm.
I was gonna say the
Mm-mm.
word, but I can't. But everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? In jail, when because they go through your paperwork, there's ways around all this shit. So don't think that you're gonna go to jail and get away with it. They read your paperwork. They know what you're in there for. And if you're in there for that, they do that scar shit on your face. So if a loved one of yours suddenly disappears from the family, they go to jail, and then they come back with that scar on their face, now you know why they went to jail. And you should keep them away
Mm.
from your family. But yes, I do agree that there should be a punishment and there should be something like, how back in the day they used to cut thieves' hands.
Mm-hmm.
There should be that type of punishment. That's the type of punishment that fits the crime. It's in the Bible too. Like I said before, if your right hand is making you sin, you cut it off. That's the punishment. So that should be the punishment for that crime for theft. I don't. There was another one where they cut your foot. I don't remember what that one was. That one was, but I think if we went back to those type of, and of course people are like, oh, that's barbaric, and Rob is all for for physical abuse,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not abuse. You're doing it to yourself. You want to commit the crime, you got to pay the price, right? We all hear that. Law and order and all this other shit, but people are breaking the law and getting away with it. And like, I don't know. I just think if there was those um punishments, then it would kind of prevent people from doing stupid shit. And again, the biggest thing that we can control now, that we can start with fixing this problem now, is don't keep secrets. Don't keep the family secret. Call it out. Put them on display. Shun them from the family. If you know that somebody is a pervert, don't bring them around anybody's kids, not just yours. But yeah,
I
I
agree.
gotta say, I'm getting, I'm getting worked up.
You and I both, babe. I feel that way as
I
well.
didn't think that this was gonna be. I guess it could be a controversial topic, but it shouldn't be. These are cultural differences, and like I said, we kind of talked about a few of ours, and we figured that we're not that different. We still have some of the same values, some of the same beliefs and stuff, and I think it's good to know. Like it's good to, especially okay. This is another thing that I don't know how long ago, maybe 80 years or 50 years back, we didn't deal with is crossbreeding and I said that like we're animals and shit, but um, what is it called? Oh my god, biracial couples.
Mm-hmm.
It's also bicultural because you're bringing your culture to another culture. So then you start creating your own traditions, right? You kind of blend both cultures into it. So all of these things should matter if you're gonna bring in your culture into, because we still do this. Like there's things in your culture that I never really thought about. That for me it's just like what that's whatever. That's not even important. But to you it's important, and if it's important to you, then it should be important to me. So those are things that we do need to talk about because we do need to, or it's things that you want to implement into our household. Does that make sense? What if I'm
Yes.
not making? Okay. So yeah, like there's things that, like I said, it is cultural differences that if you're gonna cross cultural, what is it called? Called cause? Oh my god, cross cultural boundaries or not boundaries, borders.
Differences,
Or
didn't you say?
differences or whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm saying, but see, when I make a mistake, I feel like everything just goes out the window. I don't know what to
No.
call it. If you're gonna blend the culture with yours, then we should,
Combine.
start, yes, combine cultures, respect them, and we should start that, babe. We should be like, in this family, we don't keep secrets. You heard someone, you're out of here. I know we're
Depending
not the first.
on.
No,
It
no,
depends.
there's no exceptions. You take my fries, you're out of here.
Oh no.
That's stealing. You cannot steal my fries. But I know we're not the first Hopi and Mexicans to get together.
No.
So if we were to be like, okay, well we're not a Hopi household and we're not a Mexican household, we're blended. So what's their tradition? If we were to go to another Mexican and Hopi couple and be like, okay, what's your tradition? What should we follow? We'd be like, what? No.
Well, in a Mexican household, is it the man's house?
Um, the man provides the house, but it's the woman is the one that runs it.
Yeah, in Hopi culture, everything belongs to the woman and the girls in the family.
Hmm. like how you were saying too earlier about the woman and the women. Oh, I think I mentioned or I asked you. I don't think we're gonna get into the second part of this because we're running out of time. You mentioned how the women or the girls in my culture, the kids are not allowed to be around the adults. You come in, you say hello to everybody, and then you leave. You go play with the other kids. You're not you're not listening to adult conversations. You're not in the adults' business. You have to say hello to everybody and then go with the kids. And but for younger, um, let's say it's a girl and she's I think 13 and under, then she still gets to go play with the kids. But if she's 13 and over, then she has to be in, not necessarily in the conversation, but be hosting,
Right.
making sure that people have, something to drink, or if they're hungry, they have something to eat. You're pretty much waiting on the family members that are visiting. And then, or you're cooking. By that age, you should be able to cook. So you're helping the mom cook. Or the women are in the kitchen and they're cooking while the men are having their conversations. Like, it just depends on the family dynamic and the family's tradition. But that's basically, everybody knows that, because I think it's at, I'm not sure if it's 12 or 13, but it starts where you're kind of developing into a young lady. And at age 15, that's when they do the quinceañera, and then you become a woman, or you start your journey to become a woman.
Hmm. The only thing that I can say about when it comes to like age, um, I don't think we have anything that, oh yeah, I guess we do. Um, and this is something that I haven't done yet. And again, quite recently, somebody asked me from my family if I did, and that's grind corn. When you reach, you know, I don't know if it depends on your godmother. If your godmother decides when you're gonna become a woman,
Hmm.
if she chooses when you get to grind corn. And the whole thing is, if yeah, like when you grind corn, you're going from, a young a child to a woman.
Hmm.
um and if you don't do that, you're still a child. And guess who didn't do that?
Oh no!
Yeah, that's
Don't.
you know what? And motherfucker, stop with the pedo shit. You know what I mean? Like, stop that.
I was gonna say
But
you're gonna feed them that.
well, that's culture, but
Yeah.
that's I think it would be more drastic, right? if if I was with a Hopi man. I
If
think
he
a
if he
lot of
felt like
my,
he would,
huh?
tell you you have to do that.
No, not him, the family.
Oh, the family would be
Yeah,
like,
my
you have to.
family. Yeah, my family would be like, you can't go with this man because you didn't grind corn yet.
Mm,
So they wouldn't allow me to do that. So but because you're not Hopi, and we're pretty much very much living a modern life. Yeah, I'm not gonna say entirely that don't count. That's something that I would have to ask my father, because he's very much into tradition. But
mm,
yeah, when you don't grind corn, you're still a little girl. It's almost like saying to the spirits of what you're becoming.
mm,
Another thing that has to do with age is the dances. So because I'm not married in a Hopi way, and I am still to them considered a child, I'm able to dance even at 39 years old. And I believe also that if you don't have any children and you're a woman, if you don't have children, you're able to dance. So if I'm 60 years old and I have no children, I could still dance. But obviously, if I have children, I'm not able to dance. But those rules do not apply to men. If you're a man and you don't have children, you can dance. If you have 10,000 kids, you can still dance. But
I'll be back. Can you hear me? I said I'll be back.
Okay, baby. But yeah, so me and my parents were actually talking about that the other day, where that is in my culture, in the Hopi tribe. I'm not sure if the Zuni tribe is that way, because Hopi and Zuni, we're pretty much cousins. But I know the tribes in New Mexico, I believe that if you are a woman and if you have children, that you're able to still dance. And I don't know my entire tribe's opinions on that. If they would approve something like that, probably not. But that's just how they do it in New Mexico. They do things. Like, we believe they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing, but that's just how they move now. So but yeah, like when it comes to age, yeah, like you're never too young to like participate in ceremonies and things. We don't have anything like a I don't think so. I don't know if grinding corn, if there's anything like really special about it other than grinding corn. I mean, I'm not sure, only because I haven't grind corn. But yeah, like a quinceañera that they have for, like a sweet 16, I guess. Hi, baby.
Okay.
I don't think we have anything like that other than just grinding corn, and it's like, okay, you're a woman now. Get your ass in the kitchen, make us coffee. Like, I don't know. I would have to ask my dad, but yeah, every time old ladies, when they're just like, oh, Siwa, did you grind corn? I'm like, no, and they're like, Ishmi, we have to get you ready to grind corn, and I'm like, no.
Why don't you want to do it? Or why haven't
Because,
you done
well, like, I think it's a lot of labor, even though I don't know how much labor goes into it. I think you have to fast. I think, yeah, I think they lock you in a room, and if you have to take a piss or a shit, you gotta go in the corner in a bucket or something. And I am not doing that. Rent me a porta potty outside, and then we'll talk. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if those are just like horror stories or what, but like I think it's like that. But I lived the majority of my life in the city. So all of my younger years, my teenage years, even in my 20s, like, I've just been in the city. And I just barely started living out there, almost full time in my mid 30s, early 30s. But I never had the opportunity. And you know what, I haven't seen my godmother since I participated in a certain ceremony, which I can't discuss on here. It's
it?
quite private. But I haven't seen my godmother since I was a
Yeah,
child.
that's something else that I kind of wanted to talk about when it comes to culture stuff. Is these traditions that they kind of force upon us, but then they don't explain what now? For instance, I don't know if this is a cultural thing or just a whatever, but in my in from what I understand, us Mexicans, they baptize us. I think it's before the age of 3. So they baptize us into whatever religion they believe in, right? But then we have to go through the steps, and I don't even know the steps because I think I only did my first communion, and that was it. Or I was baptized, did my first communion, or I probably didn't even do it. So they're the ones that failed, but I'm the one that gets labeled like, oh, you're a bad person because you didn't go through the communion and all the steps, and it's like I don't even know what the hell it
Like you're
entails or what it
supposed to
means.
be guided, or you're
Yeah,
expecting someone to guide you. Yeah, right.
yeah, but those are cultural things that are forced upon us. So technically, um, I don't even know what I would have to do to be like, okay, I don't follow that religion because to them I was baptized Catholic, so I should be a Catholic. I should be following the Catholic um traditions, I guess, or beliefs. So I'm like, I don't even know what that even means. I don't know what the steps are. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, like what my duties are now. So they do fail us. They force us into something and then they fail us with they don't follow it up. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that that's fair to us. Like I said, they bring us into like I shouldn't be held accountable for being a Catholic when I was just baptized into it as a child. I didn't even have a choice. So I shouldn't be labeled as a bad person or an evil person because I haven't followed through with the steps. Like you said about grinding the corn, they consider you still being a child, but um, obviously you're not. And I don't know. I just think like things like that shouldn't be held against us.
Well, for me, I feel like I want to maintain that. I don't think I want to grind corn because I guess I am looking at it like a baptism. Um,
Hmm.
in my culture, it would be kind of two faced for me to say this, even though my culture does it, but it's like you said that you didn't have a choice. It was just
Hmm.
something that they thought was best for you, because they are the parents. But it's like I feel like if I were to grind corn, it's almost like I'm giving up my innocence. Like I'm giving up, you know, like pure happiness. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Stop. Um, because when you're a child, you don't think about anything. You're happy. You have no worries. You're active. You're laughing. You're giggling, and a lot of people, they always say like, "Oh my gosh, Audie, like why are you so funny?" And that's in the back of my mind. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, "Oh, because I haven't grind corn yet." Oh my
Hmm.
god, he's knocking at the door. Hold on, you guys.
Hmm. Um, I think we're running out of time, but we were gonna do a whole higher self, connecting to a higher self or creating a higher self. So it's hot. I don't know if you can hear me, but am I on the speaker? No, I'm saying like the guy can hear me. So I'm like talking about higher self and stuff. Oh, dang it. Yeah. Yeah. I want glass.
I know, like they're picky about water, but they're like, oh, I don't drink from plastic. It's like,
Yeah,
oh
that's what
my
I'm saying. Like
god.
my brother kind of does that. He's like, "Oh, why do you guys still have plastic bottles?" I'm like, because if somebody like delivering our packages comes over and we offer them water, what we're supposed to give them a glass? Like, no, here, take this cold ass water bottle, take it with you. Like sometimes it is for convenience. Like if you're gonna travel too, like you're not gonna carry around a glass bottle. You take a plastic bottle with you. But anyways, I am uh trying to save the planet. I am conscious about stuff like that. I
Yeah,
do,
we recycle. We
yes.
recycle. Mm-hmm.
But like I said, sometimes you just can't avoid it. I think instead of plastic bottles, we should have. See, this is another thing. People are gonna be like, "Oh, but it's aluminum." But at least you can recycle an aluminum can.
Yeah.
With a plastic bottle, like it's not that easy to recycle it, and they really don't. They just take it to a landfill. But anyway, we're running out of time,
Yes, we
and
are.
so I'm gonna take that as a sign that talking about spirituality and putting all these things on people is kind of overwhelming them. Because we
Mm-hmm.
were kind of talking about it before, and I think because of everything that's going on that
You know
we've
what?
talked
People,
about,
don't be overwhelmed. This is just education.
yeah, we're not forcing spirituality on you. We're not telling you that this is what you have to do and this is what is the right thing to do. What we're saying, or at least what I'm trying to have people understand is if you want to and you feel lost and you feel like I don't know where to start, this is a start. I'm trying to give you guys the guides to starting your own spiritual journey. Um, I as a young kid, I wish somebody would have talked to me about it. That's another cultural thing that I'm starting to realize that in my culture, when people talk about spirituality or they talk about like being able to heal people, you're that's something like that's taboo. We don't talk about that. We don't admit that to other people because they're gonna think that we're crazy. But if the evidence is there, if you can put your hands on someone and heal them, like it's okay for people to believe that about Jesus, but it's not okay to believe that we can do the same things. That God gave us these abilities to help people. Like we're not using it. At least I'm not, and I know nobody in my family ever did it for personal gain. My grandmother on my mom's side, she had abilities to heal people. She would physically heal broken bones, and people came to her. People believed in her, but it wasn't something that she would broadcast to everyone because it was a personal thing. So that's a cultural thing that I'm kind of debating on. But again, I'm not trying to push this on anyone. I'm not trying to force anybody to believe in it. But if you do believe in it and you just don't know where to start, that's what this is for. And what we were going to talk about today was a higher self. And I think I mentioned that in the list from the last week. Um, Connecting to your higher self before you connect to your higher power. And honestly, I just didn't do my homework over the weekend because, like I said, I was cleaning. But I'm gonna get better. I am gonna create those that list and the memes that Audie was talking about. I'm pretty sure we don't have a show planned for tomorrow, so I'll probably get on that tomorrow or later
But
today
yeah, yeah.
because yeah, we have a lot of things coming up and I know it's important. I know it's part of my purpose to put these things out there, but I could feel that it's overwhelming because it's overwhelming for me too. But like I said, I just didn't do my homework, so that's my bad. But I have to go. I'm already late.
All right, baby.
Anyways,
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the panel and for all your knowledge and wisdom, baby.
thank you so much for having me.
Yes, babe.
I love you, baby. I gotta go.
Okay, I love you too, baby. Message me, call me.
I will.
Okay, baby.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was just right. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and just take it as education. We just ask that you guys respect our cultural backgrounds, and you know just take a little something from it, like just take the knowledge and the curiosity and all of those things. Take it innocently. All right. But yeah, we just wanted to share that with you guys, and yeah, we have a lot to go through, and if you guys are wanting to have the knowledge, and you guys want to heal, you guys want to go on and find your purpose, that is what we're here for. We're here to show you and teach you how to achieve those things, and to go on in this modern life as a spiritual being. All right, so thank you all so much for listening to us on the live, if you're here live, and if you're listening to this on the playback, don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, follow, and share. And yeah, we will check you guys back here on Wednesday. And don't forget to check out Audie's Art Struggles podcast on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Amazon Music. I just had a release today. Go check it out. And yeah, if you guys want more content, be sure to follow us on the twits on Twitter. And yeah, you can check out our handles in the description. Rob's Just Thinking and Miss DJ Hoodie. All right, so check out our spaces. Yeah, I believe that's it. I'm gonna go check on my worker outside, make sure that he's good, and clean the house up a little bit, because and I'm going to be editing another Audie's Art Struggles episode right after this. So you guys have a beautiful day. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you right back here on the Why Run Podcast live on Wednesday. Peace.